Welcome to Late Night with Linda Rosa, where we get down to the arts of the matter.
My darlings queridos, welcome y bienvenidos to Late Night with Linda Rosa, getting down to the arts of the matter. Welcome back to the show. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I know I thank you guys every time, but I'm never going to stop because your love, your time, and attention is what keeps us going. And but the fact that I love doing this, I seriously love doing it. I hope everyone's doing really well. I hope you had a great week. Please let me know what you guys are up to, what's new. I know that there's a lot of people doing a lot of new things and new projects. So many innovators, creators, inventors. Yo, I'm excited to see what everybody's doing, for real, for real. Just an FYI, for all my artists, creators, innovators, whether you're a writer, barber, tattoo artist, anything artistry related, which to me is kind of like everything, right? Because art is life. Hit me up. I want you on the show. I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. I want to know the story behind your artistry. I would love to connect with all of you guys. So I would love to hear from you. Let me know. We'll collab. We'll get it going. Can I just give a shout out to the creators and producers of Catfish and 90 Day Fiance? Because I got a little story I want to share with y'all. I feel like although people judge those shows a lot, or the people in the shows, I feel like that's actually a really good show to watch. The shows actually teach you about true love, patience, honesty, and being smart about who you connect with, whether they're from a distance. And I really like how the cultures mix, but it's also a form of awareness of how important culture is. Especially for 90 Day Fiance, like the cultures and when they clash or trying to mix them is so interesting to me. I really love the show, man. Let me tell you why I love those shows. One, because I feel like there's always a little bit of suspense on both shows. And two, because it taught me, because let me tell you what happened to me this week. So I'm on Facebook and this guy hits me up. He slid into my DMs, I guess, right? And he hits me and he says what's up. And now he got some people that I know, but the thing is, the people that he has friends that I know are artists as well. So if it's like, and it's guy friends that I know that are artists. So my thing is this: if a fan is requesting to follow me, I'm not gonna deny it. I don't have to know you for you to be a fan. So I'm an overthinker and I'm antsy. And I like, and being that I watch Catfish and 90 Day Fiance, I was about to say 90 Day Fiance, I'm like super aware. I try to be. He starts hitting me up and I'm like, okay, whatever, la la. And the thing is, I don't like to be an asshole and ignore every single person, especially if you were disrespectful with your approach, because you never know the intention, and you never know, like, an opportunity. Maybe they don't brag about their projects and they're working on something low key. So I don't like to just and it's mean to just be like, I don't want to talk to you because you're not about nothing. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, all right, whatever. So we're communicating really basic, and then he hits me with the, yeah, are you single? He comes at me with the, what we like to call in Spanish, bulto, right? Which is like luggage, which is like baggage, which is kind of like just the runaround. So I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what it is. I look at his page and I notice that he only has a certain amount of pictures, not a lot of interactions with other people. I start to look and I'm like, this don't sound right. So we're talking, and I notice, and please don't judge me, y'all. Bear with me. I notice that his English is not his like the phonics, like the way he's putting sentences together. For someone who's from here, that's been here his whole life, and primary and only language is English, and especially for a high-ranking service member, your English and your typing wasn't where it needed to me, where I would think it was supposed to be. I'm okay. Look, long story short, you sound stupid on the messages, and in my head, I'm like, you gotta be smarter than that. G, you a high-ranking service member, bro, and you're on the computer all day, and this is how you write it. And it was like, it's different if like you forgot to put the O in something. typos happen, but it was like sentence structure. And let me say, yes, fellas, we pay attention to shit like that. Yes, okay? So, and he kept calling me dear. And I'm like, dear? Desde cuando somebody calls you dear? What the fuck? So I'm like, dear. And I said something. I'm like, it's really interesting you calling me dear. He's from the South. Okay, he's from Texas. So he's from Texas. And in my head, I'm like, so guys from Texas call you dear? Yo, if you're from the South, especially from Texas, is this legit? You call people dear? Like, is that a thing? Because in my head, I'm like, I'm thinking, I know I sound so ignorant, but school me. I don't know everything. What do you call women? Like, from the South, like in the South, like, or sugar or honey, but dear? So I'm like, okay. So anyway, we're talking on this app, whatever. And you're probably wondering, well, Linda, you're entertaining it. I'm literally intrigued. I'm intrigued because you know what? I felt like if this is a spam, I'm going to fuck with them. That's kind of how I looked at it, right? So I'm there talking, whatever. Just keep in mind, I already mentioned scams, lies, weirdness, things that I caught up. Like, I'm vocal. I do not care. I'm not scared of no man. So I'm already calling it out. He had to, so the next day, he hit me up, says, hi, whatever. He's like, you know, I'm annoyed with you, right? In my head, I'm like, motherfucker, you met me one day and you're already annoyed? Bye. You don't know me, bro. All you think you're annoyed. That's when I knew. I was like, he's either trying to, like, use his service power, like, to intimidate. Like, he was trying to come at me kind of funny. So I had to regulate from jump. Annoyed about what? You just met me. He's like, no, because you kept saying something about catfish. I'm like, because I don't know you. And to be real with you, it's funny that you're upset about that. Because if you told me that I was a catfish, I wouldn't be mad. Because I could fucking be a catfish. I could have a big ass dick. You don't know. So then I was like, I wouldn't get mad because it's real shit. He was like, no. He was like, you just need to mind your words. And I was like, mind my words? I said, I don't mind my words for nobody. I don't bow down to nobody but God. And I was like, I'm a realistic person. I'm going to say what it is. If you don't like it, that's on you. You know, thank you for your service. I wish you the best life. Bye. He didn't leave. He was like, no, I'm sorry if I was rude. And I was like, it is what it is. I just met you. I don't have any connection to you. I don't know nobody that you know. And the people that you have that I know are actors and shit. So you could have maybe, you don't even know them. You might just be friends because it's easy to follow someone who needs that kind of following. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to stop somebody from following me because I don't know you. That's stupid. So I'm not going to fall for that. So then I said, well, tell me about yourself, like family, because I really wanted to catch. I knew, my spirit never lied. I knew. Tells me that his kids have, and yo, if you are in the service, regardless of where, Army, Navy, whatever, let me know if this is legit. He tells me that his kids have caregivers in enough, because he's in Syria. When he told me he was in Syria, I was like, man, this is bullshit. There's no way, bro. So he hits me, he's like, my kids are with a caregiver right now, so they're far from him. He's been away for about 9 months. I was like, okay. He said that, I'm telling his whole business. He's not with the wife anymore for other particular reasons that I'm not going to put his personal business out there. Divorced, obviously. But the funny part was he said, got no siblings. Both parents passed away. He has no connection to his families because they don't support him. So you're basically telling me that it's just you, your kids who are super far, and that's it? And they're with a caregiver? How does that work in the Army? Like a caregiver? Like a 24/7 babysitter? That's 9 months. So is the caregiver like family members, but you call them caregivers? Because if I'm not gonna call my tia a caregiver, I'm like, yo, they're with my tia. They're with my aunt, they're with my grandma, they're with my mom, they're with my dad, they're with my uncle, they're with my brothers. I'm not gonna say a caregiver, but then again, he did say he don't gotta connect to family and shit. I'm like, okay, so do you FaceTime? Do you call? He's like, no, it's really strict down here. I really can't. I said, what? By the way, the next day I went back to his profile and entire conversation, everything he talked about, he deleted. The only thing you saw was a track of my conversation. All his shit was gone. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I told him something about that. And he was like, well, no, they're really strict here. They monitor for safety. And I'm just like, you mean to tell me you're away from 9 months and America, the United States of America, won't let you talk to your loved ones? I mean, you know what? I would believe it under Trump because he's a fucking asshole. But you mean to tell me you can't talk to nobody, my G? You can't even keep a conversation. We didn't talk about nothing but, hi, how you doing? My name is blah. Your name is blah. So then I was like, so let me go back to the FaceTime. I'm like, well, do you FaceTime or call? Because if you are trying to get to whatever you're trying to do, if you want to keep in contact with me, I was like, we got to FaceTime and have conversations on the phone. I know maybe I watched too much Catfish and too much 90 Day, but in order to keep contact with me, I'm a realist. I need video and I need phone calls. I never heard from him again. Okay? So then it made me wonder, how do people stick to these relationships or start them for so long and not pursue seeing somebody in person? I want to know, like, if you met anybody in that way where you never met them before, but you're in communication trying to be together and shit like that, like, how do you guys do that if you've never seen them? You know what I'm saying? Because he sent me a picture, but like, you could send me any picture of that person. That's what the fuck happens in Catfish. So anyway, never heard from him again. So ladies, if I hear from him again and we do FaceTime and shit, I'll let y'all know. But I haven't heard from him since, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm just saying, ladies, we need to be mindful. Cause and by the way, I did mention the fact that I'm such a dick. I was like, well, I researched and I found out that there are people, including women, who pretend to be soldiers to run scam on women and get money and things like that. So that's why I'm being cautious, because he kept getting mad about that. And in my head, I'm like, why you get so mad? Because if I'm talking to you, and like, let's just say I'm the one that's in Syria, and I'm in the army, and you're like, well, I gotta see you. I'd be like, I bet, where you at? I'm gonna call you on FaceTime, Skype, Zoom. There's a million ways to connect. We could even message on Instagram, bro. There's a million ways to connect, and you magic, and it's not possible. You're a high-ranking army person. So anyway, ladies, that's my story of the week. Pay attention to people that hit you up. Don't get hyped because they got a little money, they're in the army, they're in the service, or they have a great title and all. Like, they could tell you anything. They could tell you anything. What you want to do is you want to get on the ball and be like, let me see you. I shouldn't have entertained it in the first place, but first of all, I'm bored. Second of all, I was like, let me get this motherfucker. I know he's lying. I want to make him feel stupid, which I feel like I did. So just lesson learned again, I guess. Because I learned my lesson from watching the TV show, but I never really went through that like in person. And that shit is real, yo. He really tried to intimidate my motherfucking ass, saying, you need to mind your words. Fuck you, but I have a podcast. You really think I give a fuck about minding my words? I should have been minding my words a year ago when I started this podcast. You really think I give a fuck about what you think about what I say? You could suck a bag of dicks. Talk about mind your words. Psst. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. But now we're going to take it to my girl, Evie, who's my guest co-host for this episode, for the season, actually. I'm so happy she's here. And I can't wait to get her reaction and opinion about this situation. How are you, babe? What's up? What's going on?
I'm good. I am shocked. What is happening with the internet?
I don't know. I think people don't have jobs and they're really trying to make another dollar. But, bro, nobody got jobs.
Yeah.
There's 30 million people without jobs. You really think you're going to get some other chick to get you some money? Where? I owned it.
Well, especially if it's somebody from another country.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
By the way, me and Evie are huge fans of 90 Day Fiancé.
That's my shit.
Like, I love that fucking show.
And all of them. Is it from 90 Day?
You talking about the lady that was dating that one dude?
That she would call him Williams?
Yeah.
Why did you put an S at the end of it?
I don't know, but this is the thing. He said he was from where, and he had like a...
Yeah, he said he was English.
He was English, but he had like a Nigerian accent.
And I was like, from the get, I'm like...
I knew it sounded weird, but that's what I'm saying, like, ladies. And I'm
She's
not...
a prime example of that.
That's a perfect... And she sent him money.
Yeah.
And that
pictures. This is it.
This is it. Today's episode is about
falling in love over the internet.
And the bullshit to not fall for. Hello.
We are not in our grandparents' time where you recorded and picked up from your house.
I want to be courted.
Oh,
I do.
It's nice.
And I know it sounds hard sometimes, but I want to be picked up. I want some flowers.
It's nice.
I love flowers, and I love flowers that I don't see on a regular. But I love roses. Roses are my favorite. Hello, Linda Rosa.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like flowers.
I love flowers.
My husband sent me flowers one time when we were dating. He sent them to my job.
What'd you say?
I said thank you, and they were very sweet. I was geeked, but then I was like, let's not do that again. He's like, what? I was like, flowers for me, they remind me of a funeral. Especially the smell of them, especially a certain arrangement of them. It just reminds me of like the flowers you take to a funeral home.
Have you been to a lot of funerals? Like, is it because
enough? I think for where the smell reminds me more of a funeral than it does like a happy, like, oh, beautiful flowers. And it's not like a bad thing, because to me funerals are just, a place where you mourn, you show your respect, and stuff like that. But the smell just associates with that.
But even like baby's breath and you know what? Damn it! I wish Keisha was my boss for the event planning. This girl knows every fucking name of every flower. She be saying ranunculus. I'm like, what the fuck? They are. But like, side note, we be going to a floral appointments when we could have, And I'll be standing there with her with the clients, and we're talking about flowers, and we're designing the centerpiece. And then she's like, "What about?" And she'll mention it sounds she's so detailed about the names of flowers. She sounds like medication. Can we get this ranunculus to this flower? And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? She be knowing what they are, and then the flowers obviously they know what they are, but I feel like they speak in a whole different language. But they're like, but even like beautiful, like vibrant,
and I think they're beautiful. Don't get me like. It's not like I hate them and it's like, ugh, don't get me flowers ever. Yeah. But to me, like, I've just never been crazy about them. Like, my mom would get them for Mother's Day, and obviously I've gotten them for other occasions, and it's not like a taboo or nothing. But me personally, one, they only last a week, if that, maybe two, depending on how you take care of them. And two, again, the smell of them reminds me of, so I'm just kind of like, so he started buying me food. And I was like, there we go. Edible arrangements.
Would I ever fall in love over the internet? I would fall in love over the internet. But it has to, I'm particular about falling in love over the internet. Because...
Well, when you say fall in love over the internet, you mean a dating app? You mean Facebook? You mean Instagram? You mean... You just happen to like somebody and then they like their pictures and you guys went on a liking spree, or what is that? What is the art?
Very good question. So that's a good question, because when you were talking, it hit me. I'm like, yo, she's right, because the internet is the internet. It's different if I had said dating over social media. But we're talking about falling in love over the internet. Or online. So I'm gonna say online, because I feel like whether it's social media or dating sites, I feel like people could still lie. Because it's not like, because you're not on these dating sites, you could put a video of yourself, but everybody doesn't do that. You get what I'm saying? And everybody's not really fit for that. I'm not saying that you don't have a video, so you're lying. No, I'm saying because some people are really nervous, and they might not be able to deliver who they are on camera, especially when they're trying to find love. So if it's just pictures, I respect it, but I would still take the same precautions that I would whether it was social media. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only difference that I would say with social media is that with dating, because have you ever been on a dating site?
Actually, no.
I have.
Okay.
Dating site.
I'm in like a weird cusp of.
Okay.
I'm at that weird age where I'm young enough to know that social media and online dating is a thing, but I'm old enough to still think it's weird. So, like, they're there, and I know they're there, but I'm always like,
it's weird.
Do I want to go that route? I mean, I don't have to anymore, but at some point I was like, ugh. I was always like, you never catch me on Match.com. And that's so desperate, but now it's such a norm.
It's a real norm, and I think right now, especially with Corona, but I think that the difference between a dating site and social media is that social media is much more live. So if someone's lying, I feel like it's a little bit more easier to catch, because it's like, so Instagram, people push shit all the time. You know what I mean? Or if you don't push shit all the time, I'll pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Because you could tell What?
The post all the time or not or whatever is only their best sides.
No. Okay, let me elaborate then, because I see how you
like
how you
they're
said
gonna
that.
post and you're gonna be like, oh my god, this person's
No,
great.
I'm not talking
but
about
it's only
the looks.
their best sides.
No.
No, I mean in general.
Oh
their
yeah,
best moments, their happiest moments. Nobody posts the bad.
Well,
sides.
yeah, but what I'm saying is about knowing whether they're real or not. That's what I mean. Cause attraction wise, you're right. Cause ain't nobody gonna put no ugly pictures of themselves out there unless that's like they're into that shit, which is whatever. You like it, I love it, whatever. I'm talking in regards of knowing whether it's a scam, real or not. If I see that you're posting on a regular, you're on your lives, you're doing stories, and I'm like, okay, this is okay, cool, you know. And like, for example, for the guy that I'm telling you that hit me up, his shit was not active like that. You know what I'm saying?
That was the first red flag.
Yeah, the first red flag. And I'm not saying that I need you to be like Instagram famous. No, I'm just saying like,
that's all you're working with in the beginning. So
yeah,
that's all you can for
you know, and I'm just like, if you're trying to like court me from a distance, first of all, the moment he said he was in Texas, that he's working in Syria as in the army, I just thought that it was weird that I just didn't, especially when you have kids. But he hasn't seen his kids in 9 months, and he's out like, he could easily validate why he's not so active on social media, but I also feel like it was too much missing.
Yeah.
It was too much missing. Yeah. You have no connections to nobody but the caregiver to your kids.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a lot of red flags. Listening to that story, I would have entertained it. But like you said, you felt like you had a point to prove.
I had a point to prove.
I know, and I want to make sure
I want to make him feel stupid, because I was just like, bro, you really think somebody...
But besides making him feel stupid, you also want to speak from experience, because if somebody's ever like, well, have you even tried? It's like, yes, I have. And it's a scam.
It's a fucking scam. It was different if he was like, aha, you did annoy me a little bit, aha, or something, but he didn't
a little
LOL somewhere. Yeah. He didn't do any of that. He dead ass was like, you need to mind your words. That's fighting words to me. That's like AKA watch your mouth. Linda, watch your mouth? Since when? No, there's no way. You know what I mean? And how would I want to be approached if I'm approached online, right? The art of dating online. First of all, you need to be creative with your approach, because you have to keep in mind that you're not meeting me in person. Like you said, pictures don't always tell the truth, especially in social media, because there's filters and positionings and shit. So but me, your girl Linda, is going off of everything that you're saying.
I feel like there's two scenarios though. There's a scenario of the person that is a complete stranger, and then there's a scenario of a person that is a friend or an acquaintance of an acquaintance of an acquaintance. So there's a slight, degree of connection. And I just feel like if I'm gonna go on the internet and speak to a complete stranger, it's like you could take their words however you want. But if you are talking to somebody that maybe isn't a friend or whatever, you've seen them around, you have a lot of friends in common or whatever, you might read those words differently. Like when you write LOL, you really laughing out loud?
Not every time.
When you put 5 laughing faces, you laughing out loud?
Nah, I'm laughing a little bit. The 5 laughing faces, that means I was like, haha.
LMAO, you laughing your ass off?
Nah.
I'm just saying.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
A lot of it is like the social appropriateness of how you send a text message. So it's like, I'm a big emoji person. I feel like I gotta add emoji, because I feel like no matter what I say,
people are
are reading that shit hard as hell.
Yeah.
Like literally, like stern. So I'm like, throw a little.
You got to.
Face
Because the thing is, I'm a little bit old school.
I'm a lot of bit old school.
I love the feeling, the when a man opens my door. Chivalry is there's nothing sexier than chivalry.
Fun fact. My husband opens my door every single time I get in the car. Not even like courting. It's just like automatic. And let me tell you, that's a real gentleman. If I have to tell you how to be a gentleman, I don't want to date you, because if I got to tell you how to be a gentleman, I got to tell you how to fuck. I don't want to teach anymore. And that wasn't even like a requirement or nothing.
It
wasn't even like
you didn't ask for it.
You should be opening my door, because as old school as I can be, it's just something that's just innately part of him, and that's just the things that you look at when you are deciding to date. Maybe you're not gonna open her door every time. That's fine. It doesn't make you a person. You know what I mean?
No.
But you make up in other areas.
Yes.
And honestly, like at this point, it's not even like oh my God, he's so sweet. It's just a part of how we
Yeah.
walk, how we talk, how we do.
It's a
just part of
partnership.
yeah.
It's a partnership,
But
and you do it for him as well.
You would think that, unfortunately, that art of courting is kind of gone, you know, and
I want to be courted, yo.
Yeah. And it gets lost.
It does.
But it gets lost in the new era of dating, which is the internet.
Yes.
Because you're no longer forced to, dress up, to go pick her up, to go to dinner, to talk, to maybe not even go to dinner, go to the park, go wherever, just to talk. Like, everything's instantly like, so we fucking? Or
yeah.
not? And
oh
it's
my
like,
God. And
wait,
that's
what?
like the worst, because it's like, oh my, the disappointment. I don't know if you've been through this, but like, you meet somebody online, let's just say, and everything is cool, they're saying the right things, and then they either hit you with the, well, when you want me to come through, let me know. Or when you meet them, like let's just say you went to like a coffee or the bar and you meet them, they automatically think you're gonna take them home because y'all been talking for like a month or a few weeks and you just met, but because you put in that month,
girl, a few days,
yeah,
a few hours.
Oh my God, let me tell you a story about a date. When I'm not gonna lie, I was on a dating website. My friends were telling me try, and I was like, okay, whatever. And I met this dude, and it was cool. We had great conversation. It was cool. I'm not gonna lie, it was a good time. And he was a gentleman. He opened the doors and all that, and he was really cool. He got at the time. He got me cupcakes from Mr. Cupcakes because I love Mr. Cupcakes. He's from Jersey. Have you had those?
Yeah.
So good. One of my favorites from Mr. Cupcakes is the peanut butter and jelly cupcake. It's like crack. Well, I don't know what crack is like. Let me not say that. I don't know what it's like. I don't know. But I love it. I don't care what day it is. If you give me a Mr. Cupcake, I'm killing it. And I'm going to look at you different. So
with the hard eyes.
With the hard eyes. Yeah. So, we went out, opened my door. He got me the cupcakes. We went to dinner, all of that. We get in the car. We're going back. And he's dropping me off. But just keep in mind that I never give... Well, I don't care if you know this. I'm never going to give you my address. It's either going to be like 2 blocks away or a block away or like a bodega that's nearby. Like, I'm never going to have you pick me up at my location. So, and I'm never going to walk away until I see your ass leave. Or I'm going to walk really fucking slow.
But what if you have the gentleman that wants to make sure that you're inside the house before he leaves?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know you well enough for you to walk me to my door yet.
Yeah.
Once we get comfortable, you can walk me to my door. But I promise you, I'm not far. I'm okay.
Because you know that there are some scenarios that
they're absolutely.
Like, let me make sure you're good.
Yeah, no, and then and
you can be like, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
but no.
And that's how I would approach it. No, you're right. And I'm glad I'm so happy you said that, ladies. That's a really valid point. What if you are on a date, and we'll get back to my point, but you made a good one. I want to address that because it's true. What if you're on a date and he's like, well, I want to walk you to your door, and you really don't feel comfortable? You don't have to. You could easily say, oh, that's okay. My best friend is waiting for me to call her. She's going to be on the phone while I walk home. Or I'm really not that far. And you could be honest. Honesty is key. I'm not really comfortable with you walking me to my door yet, but I really do appreciate you wanting to take the time. I'll give you a call as soon as I get in. My best friend is on the phone. Like, you could, you don't have to explain too much. It's of their business. But I'm saying, if they're trying to give you that much respect to walk you to the door, even if you don't feel safe, give them the respect to give them a response. You know what I mean? And then let it go. But he was dropping. Yeah, back to the point. He was dropping me off at my location, and then he parked and everything. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not in my head. I'm like, I don't know where he's parking, but maybe he would want to open my door.
He leaned in. He did the lean.
He did the lean in.
He did the lean
in.
And
I did the lean down because I was getting my cupcakes. And I was like, thank you for a good time, whatever. He's like, so you're not going to invite me up? I was like...
The cupcakes are good, but not that good.
I was like, no. I was like, this is like, this is our first date. I wasn't planning on that. I'm sorry if you felt like I maybe insinuated it, but that's definitely not my goal. Yeah, it's not my end goal here. This motherfucker's face changed. Oof. He was upset. He didn't yell at me or scream or go crazy, but I could tell he was done. He didn't even care to he didn't get out the car to open my door after that. I got out the car. You sure as hell know I enjoyed those motherfucking cupcakes by myself. And I never heard from him again. And that's what I'm saying. Y'all need to be mindful and need to pay attention.
And it's not a reflection of you.
It's not a reflection of you if you say no. They're going to call you a bitch. Or they're going to call you a million other names. Fuck them. You don't even know them.
Yeah.
I would rather you call me an asshole and a bitch and all the names in the book than die because I felt bad that you didn't go inside. Oh, yeah? No. You and so it's
and then unfortunately, there's some women or men, depending on how the scenario rolls, that are like, damn, I really like this guy, and I don't want him to not call me back. So you almost feel pressured to be like, okay, fine, you can come up, but it's like, if that wasn't the end goal,
that was but
I stick to your guns.
And I'm not gonna lie. One of the things that I remind myself when I'm going on a date, when I'm dealing with somebody and dating them, is the fact that I shouldn't be pressured to deliver for you. When you talk to me about your marriage, everything that you said represented partnership to me. And when I meet somebody, you need to present partnership to me. And if I'm telling you I'm not comfortable, you need to respect it.
Yeah.
So for the ladies who do feel that pressure, if you feel that pressure, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Whether it's because you're putting it on yourself or because you feel it coming from him. Why are you so pressured to make sure he comes? Is he making you feel like, well, if you don't let me in, then somebody else will, or you're going to lose me?
Throw the whole thing
then
away.
Throw the whole thing away. Because that's from the beginning, you already feel like you could lose him, then you never had him. So I'm glad you said that. I think that safety is such a huge concern these days. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling y'all, there's certain things that I feel people feel like they have to do. You don't have to do when you're dating, especially in 2020. You know what I mean? But I would love for online dating to be mixed with courting.
I think there's a version of it. You just have to know how to find it. I think the internet or online dating or whatever you want to call it, the version of courting for that is long conversations. Maybe we'll take a few days before we even physically meet just to kind of talk. Good morning, good night, and kind of make yourselves part of each other's lives. Distance. Social media or whatever, and then once you feel comfortable and you feel like, you know what, I kind of got a good vibe from this guy, whatever, then that's like the virtual version of dating. That's the virtual version of opening your doors and walking to your door. You just talk everything a little bit and kind of feel it out.
But I feel like older guys will do that.
I think you're right in the sense that because they're just translating
what they know already
onto paper,
right,
or onto the internet.
But I think guys our age, without giving our ages out, between 27 and 38 or 30, I feel like either in that category, either you're fully online and you just trying to get a good, or you're a combo. And I would love a good combo because I love conversation. I like guys who know how to talk about something other than the typical sports, cars, and the news. Like
the
I
weather's
just,
nice.
You know what I mean? Like I like, I just like to. I'm at a point in my life where if I'm gonna be dating, it's more with like purpose.
Yeah. So
I don't want to be approached trying to fuck.
Especially if you're working on a project.
You
don't want something to slow you down. You want something that's gonna be on point with you, so that it's
I'm not trying to. Let me not say fuck. That's not so hard. But like, I'm not trying to meet somebody that wants to just get in and get out. I want. Great. I'm telling you my whole life now. I'm trying to like. Obviously, I'm single. Obviously. And I'm not saying I'm looking. I'm simply saying you're asking like what I would be trying to do. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather date with purpose. I don't want that kind of distraction where you come in just for some sex.
And it's also, I think, easier for a certain age group to be that stern. To be like, listen, don't waste my time. This is what I want. Because I feel like if you're younger than 25.
Okay, 25, yeah.
Well, if you're younger than that, unfortunately, if you try to, especially if you're dating somebody in the same age group, you'd be like, oh, I don't want to waste any time. This is what I want to do. They're like, oh my God, relax. Like, you're almost like, yo, we're not getting married, chill. And it's like, but when you're older, it's like, listen, I've been there,
Yes,
I've done that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
why
here for it.
That's what I'm saying. And
I guess in that term or in that realm, internet dating kind of has two sides to it. In the sense is like, if you're under a certain age, unfortunately, you're probably not going to find the man of your dreams. You might, and then if you're over a certain age, or you have the freedom or the luxury to be like, this is what I want, or whatever, and people might not talk to you no more, but you're like, whatever. But then there's like versions of it. There's like apps for you to hook up, and then there's apps for you to be serious. So it's just like, God, the internet world is just expanded.
But don't fall for that, babe. Don't fall for that, because there's people on dating sites that just want to have sex, and they'll play that game. Because for some people, finding a partner to have sex with is way easier than others. Some have to put a little bit more work in, but I think, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, I think some guys like to pursue women who they feel are a little bit weak-minded, and when they're looking for love, they'll pursue anybody with that attention because they see a potential, and then what happens is you end up smashing, and they end up leaving, and then she's hurt. But remember that the only reason he chased that ass was because you made it you came off a little thirsty.
You illustrated like if you were here for the same cause.
But you weren't. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people do that. It's catfishing. It's emotional Bro, that was good. That was good. It's emotional.
That's the name of this episode. Emotional
catfishing. Yo, this episode this is an impromptu ass episode, and it's like we're calling it. It's true though. Like I feel like there is emotional catfishing. There will be people. I don't want to just say guys. There will be people who will go online and pretend that they want the same things that you want. You may want to court and do, old school, and they'll play that game because they have an end goal to get something out of you, whether it's money, sex, or something. So it's like, it's hard because you have to literally dissect. And that's what happened with the guy from the army. I dissect. I have to dissect. Because people lie. Yeah. Come on, y'all know people lie on the internet.
Men lie, women lie.
Where everybody put a little bullshit on the internet. Everybody fibs a little bit. People like to exaggerate the truth a little bit. So I have to make it my business to not overthink things, but just look into things.
You have to be cautious.
You have to be cautious.
And again, it was because, and I think this is what I was saying before, just that in that time it wasn't really online dating, it was more in person, but it came from the idea of you wanting more out of what they were able to offer. And I really feel like it has to do with age. And and again, I have nothing against, like, if you find yourself a man that happened to age, or when I say age, I mean just their mental maturity and how they want to pursue their lives and what they want out of life. As long as it aligns with what you want, it doesn't matter how old they are. Well, it does matter. We don't want to have an R. Kelly situation here. But
that's what I mean. Like, when it comes to online dating, you have to be particular. I feel like when you're going to be dating online or whatever, you need to know what you want already. I feel like if you go in there confused, you're going to welcome anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if I'm like, I don't really know what I want, but I'm going to join. So then what the fuck what? Yeah. So then you're going to take anything? No. Unless you know, you have to like get to know yourself, learn yourself, and see where you're at in life and what you want to do. And then if you feel... And don't join bullshit ass dating sites. There's some that are really legit, and there are some that are like, questionable. And some are literally just a smash. Ladies, read about the site because, and oh my God, I can't emphasize the importance of the wording that you use in your bio. Because there's like, I remember the producer of the show. I remember, he's like my brother. So I remember one time I was creating my profile, and I was like, here's the body or whatever, and he was like, he said something.
Sound desperate.
Yeah, he said some shit like, yo, that means like this particular word means that you're like down to like, and I was like, what?
You also gotta read into other people's bios.
Yeah.
So, like if the guy's like, oh, I am a successful entrepreneur, he probably still lives with his mom. You know what I mean? Or I am a world traveler. He's never really left the country. You know what I mean? He's been to a few states. Like, you gotta read into...
Or I'm self-employed, or I'm in transition.
He ain't got no job.
You know what I'm saying? So me being innocent, I was like saying stuff like, I think the word was free spirited.
Oh, sounded like you were a hoe.
Yeah, he was like, so producer, Michael, he's dead ass. He's like my brother. He was like, so you fucking? Or I was like, he said, you don't remember exactly what he said, some shit along those lines. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, free spirited. I was like, cause I'm cool. Like I'm free spirit. I love the world. I'm a people lover. I'll hug a tree if it was dark. I don't give a fuck. He was like, that's not what that means. I was like, word, cause I've been saying that shit for dumbass long. And there's the whole time I thought it was like a free spirit, like spiritually liberated. He was like, no.
It means that
like your birds, like you're a bird. I was like, yeah, I gotta take that out. You know what I'm saying? Or like there were certain things where it came off a little bit, although I meant it in a passionate way, it came off a little thirsty. So it's like, but then you see what's in my mind. Now my question is, can you always judge? Because look at the mistakes I did because I simply didn't know.
Yeah.
So my thing is, you cannot go 1,000% on the web, on the profile. Sorry.
But if you find somebody, for example, right, that mistakenly put the wrong words, and you judge it by that, I think it's a safe, because that means that they're not in tune with
what they need,
what they need to be in tune with, in the sense that, like, you put free spirited, you put, whatever, and to you it meant something, and he put you on. Now you learn something new, so you have to walk correct, no matter if it's ignorantly or not. So if you read somebody that those weren't their intentions, they haven't been corrected. They haven't been put to a place where, so it's like, just because I walk around with a mini skirt or just because I walk around with my boobs out, that might send the message, even though, but is it on me? Like, it just turns into a thing that it's like,
wow, that's true.
I put this into the body of my bio, whatever, and my intentions aren't coming off right, but does it really matter? Like, I'm giving off that image. Now it's up to me to refine it and fine tune it to make sure that I'm clear in my way.
See, but that's true.
Start the conversation based on what you saw, like the picture and the profile, or you start the conversation based on, what they post about, depending on where you're looking at. So if it's a person that is only taking selfies, does that mean something? Or does that mean that they're private with their real life? And if it's a person that on Facebook, for example, only posts political things, is that, you know what I mean? Like, so I guess, what are you dating? What's the art? What are you dissecting? What are you looking for?
This is the thing. Like I said in the beginning, you have to know what you're looking for. You have to know what you want. Because with that, if you don't know, if you don't understand where you are in life or understand yourself enough to know who you want to date or what you're looking for in a relationship, you'll fall for any of those.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you don't know. So when you're asking me that, the first thing I thought was, I'm not into politics. I'm not going to lie, y'all. I'm not into politics. So I wouldn't even look that way.
Done.
If I didn't know what I wanted, I would have been like, well, maybe I should be into politics. And then,
and would you use social media as a dating platform?
No.
Or should you specifically just leave it for what it is?
If it happened, like the
with
way,
this
yeah, like he just approached me.
So those people are using social media as a dating.
They are, and because one is free.
True. The other ones you have to pay for.
The other ones you have to pay for, especially during these times. That's why I was like, And the thing is, the reason why I didn't dodge him was because being that this is what I'm doing, I don't know what the intention was. I don't want to be an asshole. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes love can come at the most unexpected time.
Yeah.
Unexpected time.
Yes.
Not when you're looking for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't, and that's what I'm saying. Now, let's just say, but I don't want y'all to think that anybody has an opportunity. Let me elaborate on not judging somebody quickly and then knowing when not to entertain. If you looking at a profile and you know what you want and you find and you so I'm like if they hit me up, cool. Or if you're bold and you're like, I'm gonna hit them up, whatever. If you see one thing that's questionable, how would I approach it? That's not gonna be the first conversation that I have, because I don't want you to think that I'm judging you based on that, but just understand that in the back of my head I know the conversation's gonna come up. Yeah. So if I see like everything is cool, but you may have made a questionable remark about, I don't know, Black Lives Matter. I don't know. Just to throw that out there. I may want to get to know you a little bit, but I may ask you once. Like I may wait for the right moment to ask. I'm not gonna avoid it, because you know what I mean. And that's a topic of conversation. It doesn't matter what it is. You know what? And I also don't want you to think that I'm some kind of crazy motherfucker that's looking at every. And if you are, they don't gotta know. But
so in the sense of like, you're looking at all these things, and right. let's say me. I'm married. Should I be posting that I'm married all over the place?
No.
Should that be something? Let's say somebody reaches out to me. I'm married. You see, it's weird.
There's a difference. There's a difference with you having it like on Facebook. It says you're married, and
I don't have it on mine. But I also, I don't do Messenger. But like in your case,
but your pictures show that you have someone, and you.
But because I've made it my business to do that, but it's not necessarily something that needs to be done. No. But in your case, let's say it's my professional page has nothing about who I am. Even I try to just let the art speak for itself. But let's say I do post a picture of myself and like whatever, somebody messages me, it's my business page. So do I know I'm married, or do I, say, if this is a business inquiry, then yes, we'll speak, and otherwise, no. Like
that's what I would do. Because I don't think that is necessary for you to put your whole business out there.
Yeah.
If your intention is to date somebody, get to know them, you can ask those questions, and you should be able to get an answer because both of you know that's the intention. But if they're hitting you up on your personal and that's the question, I wouldn't even answer. However,
no. But
if they're hitting you up and you're like,
you have to make sure it's not
you have to clear.
related.
Yes, you have to clear the things.
The point that I'm trying to get to is, so you decided. Let's say you're in a relationship. This person reached out to you. It ended up being that, so you shut it down. How do you go about making sure like that person, because people go online for affairs and stuff. They're unhappy at home, so you're now a single woman. You're going off of their page, and they're omitting the fact that they're in a whole relationship.
That's a motherfucking liar.
It's just like now you have to ask the right questions.
And that's what I'm talking about. Online dating and courting. I feel like you cannot have online dating without understanding that courting will be involved.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, online dating and just that, to me, that's a catfish. I know that people date long distance, but I don't know that I could start a long distance relationship without ever meeting you or like and I think that's how catfishes start. People literally start relationships, people they never met. I can't do that.
Right.
If we're really gonna do this, I need to get and I need to know what your life is about. I'm gonna ask questions, and as a woman, as a whole grown-ass woman, you have to understand the right questions to ask, because guys have been lying their whole fucking lives, so they know how to answer questions that they don't want to answer. So you gotta be able to word it.
Omitting by how does it go? Omitting. Lying by omission is still a lie.
It's still a fucking lie.
Just because you're not talking about it does not mean it's not a lie.
And there's ways to know whether they're like married. You know what I'm saying? I also don't know how I feel about dating someone who's in the process of a divorce.
Are kids out of the question?
Yes. Like, would I date somebody with kids?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm at an age where it's unrealistic for me to expect that a guy my age or even younger than me or older doesn't have kids.
Right.
If you're gonna be dating, period, online, in person, you're our age. You know what? Today, period. If you're dating, even as a 18, 19-year-old, at my age, I have to be realistic with the fact that kids if I meet 10 men, 9 or 8 of them are gonna have kids. You have to understand, and guys, you have to understand that at our age, she may have a child. It's just unrealistic. I mean, I don't have kids, and you don't yet. I'm not walking into it expecting that you don't.
Right.
I'm walking into it understanding that if you do,
it's hard though.
Very.
Because you're not dating just him. That's a whole nother thing of conversation. But you're not dating just him. You're dating his baby moms and.
But I think that's the process. Like, I don't think you should be introducing your kids so quickly. And I don't know. And I don't want to sound mean, y'all, but I don't know that I want to meet your kids so fast.
Because then you're like glued.
Yeah.
Like, now
I love kids. I love kids. I love kids so much. And I'm a big ass kid. And it doesn't, like, it could be my neighbor's kids. It could be my cousin's kids. I'm a big ass kid. And I build with kids and I build fast. And I don't want to put them or me in a position to be hurt if this doesn't work out.
Yeah.
I just feel like there comes a time. I feel like meeting kids is like meeting parents. It takes time.
Or worse.
Or worse. Because that ass, I would never, like, I tell my friends all the time, I'm like, yo, the only way I'm ever bringing a man to my house is if I'm marrying his ass. I'm not the type to bring someone I'm dating after a few months. But like, this is my boyfriend. To end the episode, I think that the art of online dating,
give me 5 points.
Dating, whether it's social media or dating sites, don't go completely off pictures because a lot of that shit is bullshit. Understand that if it's a long distance, someone's hitting you up long distance, it is highly, highly important. I cannot emphasize the importance of communication, and whether it's FaceTime or calling and talking and all of that. If you're meeting somebody online, I would not go on a date with them the next day. I'll give it a few days, a few weeks. Give it some time. Give it some time before you meet up. And do not, if you are going to hang out with somebody, if you are going to meet somebody, make sure it's in public. Make sure that it's around the people. Make sure, I do not advise that they pick you up or drop you off at your specific location. I'm not trying to put fear in y'all. I'm just trying to make y'all aware. And ask questions. Don't be a stalker. Don't be a stalker, yo, because there's some stalking ass motherfuckers out there.
I be dissecting people's profiles.
I'm a dissector.
I know your mom, your dad, your sister.
No, I dissect, but I'm not a stalker. I think a stalker is someone who's constantly checking what you're doing, where you're going, who you with. I dissect in the sense that I look deep into your shit. You know what I mean?
I could find anything.
I'll find anything. I ask questions. Don't be shy. Do not be pressured into having somebody come into your house just because they gave you a good dinner and a good time. Fuck that. They gotta put in the work. A man or a woman gotta put in the work. Do not have anybody for any reason make you feel like you need to deliver on some shit you don't want to deliver on. That's stupid. Mm-hmm. You're gonna walk into a situation that you can't get out of. Ask questions.
Most importantly, you should definitely make your intentions clear.
Make your intentions clear. Yeah. Don't be confusing people. If all you want to do is smash, then tell somebody. Because let me tell you something. I know women right now, my age or older, that probably been married or younger, that probably been together with somebody for 10 years and now they're like, I don't want to be with nobody. I just want to get a good time. There are women who are open to that, but they're not gonna broadcast the fact that they want a sexual relationship. But if you approach it and you're real about it, they might actually entertain that shit. Mm-hmm. Not me though. I'm not trying to do. I'm just saying don't hit me up with that bullshit. I'm not gonna entertain it. I don't want that shit.
But be clear.
Yeah. And if let me tell you something. I would rather you tell me, yo, I'm just looking for somebody to hang with and hook up with. I'm like, I bet that's not me, but good luck. You know, don't waste my time. You know, make it clear. But I'm telling you, there are women out there who are up for that. But but they don't want to play games either. Don't waste their time. Mm-hmm. There's women right now who are hustling so hard that they don't want a relationship. They don't want to deal with nothing. They just want a good time so they could keep it moving. But you have to be honest. Stop bullshitting them. You know what I'm saying? But look into the page. Don't fall for no shit. Don't be sending nobody money either.
Or naked pictures.
And
if you do,
don't attach your face.
Exactly.
Why do people do that? No birthmarks,
God.
no tattoos. And if your titty got a birthmark, don't send it. Especially if you know mad people see your titties before. I mean,
come on.
Well, no, if people have seen your boobs before, does it really matter?
I don't know.
Just don't. If you're gonna send a dirty text, don't put your face in it.
That's just like
that's
stupid.
School. That's like, a dead giveaway. I feel like you want to get caught.
Don't put it in your house where there's like a white wall. Like if you really feel like you have to do it or you're into that shit, good for you.
Hold on. And one more. When I go on a date, I always have what's that thing on the phone that you share your location. Share your location with the person you trust the most. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to tell anybody that. And don't be a bird and fuck on the first date. Just saying.
But if you do, then.
But if you do, use protection because you
don't get burned on the first date.
And don't burn on the first date either. If you know you got some shit, dumbass.
Lávate bien.
Yo, first of all, I've seen guys that look musty as shit. I could tell from a distance if you didn't shower, yo. I could tell. I don't even gotta smell you, bro. I know. If you know you didn't shower, don't approach me because I know. you look nasty. And I look at fingernails too. Men, clean your fucking fingernails. That shit is disgusting.
Get a manicure. It's not too girly.
It's not bad. You know when a manicure gets questionable with a guy, when you start painting it.
Yeah, when you get like shiny.
Don't get the shiny coat. I don't know why y'all do that. Go get a manicure. Clean your cuticles. Clean the inside of your nails. That's cool. But why you painting them? I think that's weird.
Whatever. But.
Cause like you're like a whole ass man and then your nails are shiny.
Metrosexuals.
Well, I'm not into that metro shit. Just keep it clean. I'm into hygiene. I don't need you to be that cute. You don't gotta take longer than me to get ready.
You look better than me?
If you look better than me, I got a problem. Don't take longer than me to get ready. Do not paint it clear. I think that's questionable to me. I'm gonna look at you funny. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I'm not judging you. I'm just like, I'm not gonna let him smash. I'm not.
One last question.
What's up?
I know we gotta wrap this up.
No, tell me.
If a guy posts a lot of selfies, is that a turn off?
Yes. No, you know what's a turn? Well,
like selfies. I'm talking about this guy takes the time.
No, I don't like that. You're too self-centered and you're covering something else. But what's even worse are the guys who do the fish face with the selfie. Ooh. To me, that's cool. Why are you making a fish face? That's a chick thing.
Even for the chicks don't do it, but
yeah, I mean that's kind of old. It's kind of old, but for a guy to do a kiss face, that's questionable to me too. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like there's a lot of low-key gay guys out there, so you gotta be careful.
Well, no, it's just we're in an age where men are into selfies, and I don't know. I feel like that might be one of those things that, like, if they're too pretty and they're online taking selfies, he's not that into you. He's into himself.
He's into himself. So I mean, I gave you more than 5. I mean, there's a lot of rules to dating online, but the number one rule is safety.
Yes. Don't
get got by the net.
No.
Don't.
Especially if you have any intuition that it might be a catfish.
If you get a feeling, don't even entertain. I got a feeling from jump. Don't do it. But be open to it. It's 2020. Things are available. Yeah. But I prefer to be courted. I love a gentleman that opens my doors and treats me like a queen. I love that shit. I eat it all up. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Make sure you get her flowers, guys.
Get me flowers.
Like the pretty.
Open the doors.
Flowers.
Don't be an asshole and do not expect to smash on the first, second, third, fourth date.
No
not gonna happen. Not with me. And Mr. Cupcakes is my favorite. Peanut butter jelly cupcake from Mr. Cupcakes is my favorite.
This is all she's putting
you on. I'm putting you on right now. I love art, obviously, and I love a genuinely good time. No bullshit. And I could tell bullshit from a distance. I smell it, I hear it, I see it from a mile away. So it's not gonna work. And I'm blunt. I'm blunt. I'm honest, I'm real. And if you don't want an answer to something, don't fucking ask me, because I'm gonna tell you what it is. I tell my mom that all the time. I tell my mom and my friends, if you do not want the truth, don't ask me. Don't ask me. I'm not going to be a dick about it. I'm not going to be an asshole about the truth, but I'm going to tell you the truth unfiltered. And everybody can't handle that. So, but I'm like the nicest person ever. I'm super loving and I'm super caring. I'm selling fuck this shit. You know what? Fuck this shit. I'm not selling myself. Fuck that. If you hit me up, you know what to do. That's it. That's it. I'm not going to sit here like, oh my God, I'm all lazy. Fuck that shit. You seen me. You seen my show. Watch the show. You'll get to know me if you watch the show and you listen to the podcast. You'll see what I'm about. And I'll know if you're paying attention. So anyway,
my darlings queridos, we're back, and today's artist of the week is Miss Katrina, darling. Let me give you a little 1-2 on how I know my beautiful friend Katrina. Katrina's one of the people that helped guide me in my big New York corporate job thing. It was one of the first official jobs that I had in the city. I've always been working in the city, but it was always like freelance. It was always a hustle. This was the first time where it was like a more of a controlled space for me in New York. So it was a big deal. And I certainly had my challenges, but Katrina, she absolutely helped guide me. And I believe a lot of my successes were because she was there to support me. Corporate America for me, it was everything I thought it was, but it was a lot that I didn't think it was. And I think, the reason why I wanted Katrina on the podcast is because I believe as a Latina woman in corporate, there's an art to being able to represent yourself, work, get that respect and maintain that level of corporate mentality at all times. You know what I'm saying? Even when there may be certain things working against you. Because I still believe that even as a woman, period, we're still a minority and we still always got to do a little bit more just to get a little bit of that credit or validation that a man would get in corporate America. So I definitely want, and she's got some projects she's working on. So I just wanted to get into, conversation about that because I'm pretty sure now more than ever, there's a lot of women, especially the movement of women empowerment. There are a lot of women right now making moves, boss moves, whether they're owning a business or having leadership positions right now. So I think Katrina is definitely a great person to talk to. But first, tell me how you doing, Bill. How's it going? How have you been maintaining during this pandemic? I would say quarantine, but we're not really quarantined like that anymore.
I mean, honestly, trying to stay busy, trying to stay motivated. I've done a lot of self-care these last few months, exercising, treating my hair and skin right, giving myself projects. That's really what's been keeping my drive going and staying busy and really just doing something for me because I'm just not the person that sits around on the couch and watches, Netflix all day.
Yeah.
I probably did that the first week, but I was like, okay, that's not good for me.
What makes you able to deliver every time? Because I'm gonna tell you, every time I've worked with you, you're able to deliver every time, regardless of challenges.
Thank you. But for me, it's just having that self-pride, that self-motivation, waking up and wanting to accomplish and succeed at something every day, even if it, like I said, like I'm working out now. So like, even if it's just to motivate myself and work out and get a better score on the Peloton than I did yesterday. That's kind of how I looked at it every day to work, what could I do better that can stand out in a crowd full of other event managers, other people in the workplace, whether it's men, women, different races. For me, it was just having that pride in my work and really showcasing that and showing people what I can do is what I wanted to do every day. Even though I'm a quiet person, and that's exactly what it is. I'm not the show off type of person. I'm not the look at me in the office talking loud and having all the heads turn. I'm the quiet person that sits there, does my work. And when I'm ready to showcase or be loud, you're going to know that I'm going to be loud. And it's not because of my mouth. It's because of what I'm doing in my work.
So you let your work speak for itself. I had to learn that. That was one of the lessons I did have to learn, because one of the things that I learned in corporate America, period, your mental state, in the sense where a lot of people really don't care about how you feel or how something affects you personally. It's more about the business. And you have to be able to separate the two and not take things so personally and just be able to deliver every time. What I did want to know was, how did you even start in event management? What brought you to do it, and your transition into what the company that you build now, which is Dingy Destination?
So, I was just serving and bartending on South Beach when I was in college getting my bachelor's degree. And I had a customer who loved my service and was, really happy with the way that we were communicating and the way that I was serving. For somewhere that wasn't really fine dining, he was just really, really impressed. Management company, and he had a conference out in Las Vegas at the Bellagio Hotel. And he's like, I need extra help. I'd be willing to pay you. We would fly you out there. And I was a college kid. I didn't have any money to buy some business suits. And they flew me out to Vegas. And I actually helped at one of their conferences at, the Bellagio Hotel, which is one, very huge space. All the Vegas spaces are huge. And that's really what drew me to loving events. And I didn't know how I was ever going to get into events again, but I loved it so much. I spent 9 days on that conference. that I came back. I got my bachelor's. I started at a hotel. I started at the bottom. You know, I worked my way up from a front desk agent to reservations agent. Finally, on my third year at the hotel, I applied for the conference concierge manager, which is basically the operations manager on the floor. I wasn't necessarily planning the events, but I was working directly with the clients on the floor. And that's where I started in 2014. So I did so well, you know, with group reservations that I got that job in no time. And that's when I really started my event career. So that was 2014. And a year after that, I got promoted to convention service manager, where I actually got to work on BEOs and planning events. I did so great in that. And I just kept growing from there. You know, when you're really great at something and you know that you're great at something, you're going to put in your best efforts. I always put in 110%. And I always let people know it when they never know what goes on in the back office when you're planning and going through all the tears and the trials and the errors and, you know, the concerns that your client has. But when it's showtime, it's definitely something that you want to be successful at. And I was. Mm-hmm. So, but my bigger dream, my bigger dream after that was to do events in New York. So, and, you know, eventually I applied for New York Hilton, didn't get the job. I had a few interviews to get the job. That didn't stop me from trying, and I kept applying, and then finally I got a call back, and I was like, finally. So, you know, I took my talents to New York, and I started my events here in New York, and it was honestly, like you said, working in corporate America was definitely different, but for me it was exciting. It was exciting to work for a big company like Hilton. Mm-hmm. You know, they really did value their employees. And you can see, and you want to work hard for someone who values their employees. Mm-hmm. And that was my event career. And
can I just
COVID-19 happened.
Yeah, exactly. But can I just tell y'all, she's being really, really humble. First of all, Katrina has had some of the bigger events at the hotel. She held one of my most favorite events. She doesn't know how much I loved it, to the point where I would be doing extra, and she didn't even know. And it's because I love this, and it's the tattoo convention. That was my favorite because I love tattoos. I was like, this is my element. I'm here, and I was like, I was like geeking out, and I'm just glad that I had the opportunity to work it. And the girls that I worked with, they knew. They were like, I know you want. I was like, put me in there. I want to work it, you know. But it wasn't just because it's a personal interest. It's because the amount of work that it takes to build that. You know, we had a lot of conventions of different, and Katrina did different, she would do tattoo conventions, but then she would have the most corporate ass event. It's a world of things that you used to do, you know. But
what I love apart from each other.
Yeah, completely. Just, you know, tattoo one day and then a banking event another, or different things. But what I loved about each of the events that you put together was how meticulous you have to be with the details. It's not like, okay, one day book a room, book a table, that's it. No, hunty. If you want to get into event management, especially in the city, especially in corporate, especially in conventions, you need to understand the diligence that it takes to build this. And it's not like, okay, now the event's over, we're done. I remember when you were training me, when I got promoted, you were already talking to them, and their event probably either already passed or it wasn't even close to happening yet. So it's like you have to consistently maintain relationships with your clients. It's not over just because it's over, you know? And how do you think, so another that I wanted to ask is, what were some of your biggest challenges in event management in your career that helped build you the most? Is there anything that you can think that you consider that was a challenge that you had to deal with, you had to face it, and it helped you pursue and grow in your career?
For me, I had personal challenges where I had to balance work, balance my personal life, balance, school. So that for me was a challenge. If you take control of time management, and that's huge in event management, because if not, you'll be working 16 hours. 16 hours will go by and you won't even notice it. And then you forget about your personal life and everything. You forget to eat, you forget to hang out with your friends or your loved ones, or come home and walk your dog. Your dog's sitting here watching Netflix. So that's, to me, that's huge. And I learned that I wasn't going to work 16 hours anymore. I was going to do everything that I could within the 8 to 10 hours, and then discipline myself and get out of there and go have a personal life. And then some of the other challenges that kind of helped me grow is just like client challenges. I feel like those are always my biggest challenges, because we all get frustrated when things are out of our control, or when we don't think we have solutions right away for the clients. So for me, learning to have solutions, not necessarily saying no, but what is the yes answer? It's yes, we can do something else. We don't necessarily do what the client says. That for me, really training myself into getting better resolutions for the clients had helped me not have so many challenges with clients or any concerns. And the clients actually appreciate that when you already have an answer for them. It might not be the answer they want, but it's another solution. And for that, they respect you.
I love that. Now I want to talk a little bit about your new business. First of all, I love the title, and I love the logo. The logo is so clean and it's so open and it fits everywhere. I love it. I would love to know how you came up with this, like why'd you create it, how it represents you, and what it involves, what it entails.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. So I came up with Dingy Destinations. Really, it started as a joke. Just because a group of friends of mine and we used to plan trips all the time. We used to go to Coachella every year. And the one who planned the trip was me. Like, no one else ever helped.
Yeah.
Anytime I was like, taking a poll of what hotel should we stay at, what Airbnb we should stay at, it was always like crickets. People were too busy to answer. So I ended up making the whole itinerary and planning of the trip. I ended up finding the flights super cheap and telling people, like, give me, my friends, give me your credit cards. Like, and so that's how it started. And, after I would book the whole Coachella trip, I was like, oh, that's Dingy Destinations. And I was like, oh, I like the way that sounds. And so that was a joke for the next 3 years. So in the way that it started, basically COVID happened, and I was actually like, man, I need to put a project on my plate, and what better time than to actually learn more and get more into Dingy Destinations, rather than now with all this time that I have, how to create a website. I have close, family member who actually is a travel agent as well, giving me a lot of insight, great ideas on, hotels and what she does. Really, really, really helpful. And being in the hospitality industry, there's nothing more than I'm better at than traveling and events, because it's what I love to do. So why not, start a company with something that you love to do? Unfortunately, because of COVID, it might have not have been the best time to start a travel company, but it was the best time to look into all the logistics and the planning to start one. Because I probably wouldn't have had time to ever do it again,
Yeah, and I think that's, you hit it right on the head. And I want people to really pay attention to what Katrina just said. I don't want anyone to ever feel like right now you can't create whatever you want. It doesn't matter if you're not going to get any kind of revenue or profit from it today. The purpose is that right now we're kind of stuck in a sense. We're kind of like still. And I think, and I tell people all the time, I've said it in previous episodes, that I feel like we are all in like a spiritual revolution right now, where it's not a war revolution. It's not about that. It's about us looking within ourselves and recreating ourselves. And I think that you hit it right on the head. It may not have been the best time to put it out or to promote it, but it's the best time to get into those kinks, because you have the time. Because I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I'm pretty sure, God willing, if hospitality comes right back up and we start getting busy again, as busy as Katrina is, you know what I'm saying? It would probably be challenging to put in that kind of time. So right now is a perfect time to get into those details, those logistics, the artistry, the creating, the brand. You know what I mean? So once it starts to kick off, it's a smoother sailing. In detail, what else can we expect from Dingy Destinations?
Yeah, so I actually opened up it to more services than what I initially had set for it. Like, I initially just had Dingy Destinations set for travel services. But then when I was creating my website, I thought, why wouldn't I add events into this? Because I am an event planner. So, why wouldn't people want to use my services, especially, now that I'm not working like a 9-to-5 corporate job, why not freelance all the services that I have? So that's basically, as I was building my website, that's what I was thinking of. So I was thinking of, what do I do for Dingy Destinations? Well, I love traveling, and I love when I travel, whether it's like kayaking, hiking, those type of outdoor activities, or even indoor activities or tours and stuff like that. Those are the things that I like to plan. So sometimes people don't necessarily have the time to plan that themselves.
Absolutely.
So I used itinerary planning as a service that Dingy Destinations can complete for you. So other than hotel stays, we don't necessarily book flights for anyone, but because I'm such a guru, I would be more of a consultation telling you, hey, the best times to purchase flights are on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, or on Tuesdays from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. If you happen to be up, you'll see flights drop at those times. So that knowledge and information that I have can be more of a consultation for somebody and help somebody plan a trip and budget their expenses a little better. Another service, like I said, was event services, So obviously I plan everything, and I plan my life, and I plan itineraries, and I plan events. So, do you have a bridal shower coming up that you need help with? Baby shower, a wedding for 50 people of less right now.
Rules, guys.
Got to make sure you follow the CDC guidelines, all right? Do you have any event, a personal event in your life that you need help with planning? Because maybe you just can't get around to planning it. So I'm just the third person, the middleman who actually does the planning for people. And that's the type of service that Dingy Destinations provides.
Okay. And that's why I wanted you to get into detail, because I'm like, there's no way that this is all Dingy Destinations has in store. And that's why I wanted to emphasize the fact that Katrina has had literally some of the dopest fucking events I've seen, I've been a part of. Katrina's a perfect fit, whether you want to plan a trip, because every time I see Katrina, she's somewhere. She's traveling somewhere, doing something, and it always looks super fun. But on top of that, she plans, whether it's the smallest meetings to the most top of the line events. It's like it's all in there for Katrina. One of the things that I did want to ask you, though, it's a little bit off topic, but I did want to ask, because you're so, disciplined, how do you handle creator's block? How do you handle like when you're trying to create and you're just not hitting it where you want to? What helps you kind of get back on track?
Oh, it's funny that you asked that because I was kind of having that moment this morning, which is what caused me to like run a little late. You know, I run a few social media accounts for family businesses, and I was just like, what do I post today? What content am I posting today? You know, and just trying to get a little creative and, you know, unique with things. It's hard to answer that because I feel like we all have some type of writer's block.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes when I'm sitting in my bedroom office a little too long and I'm frustrated, I go for a walk, I go get fresh air, you know, I make some tea, I make some coffee. I try to like disconnect from my frustration in the moment and go enjoy something that's going on outside, because you never know, like you're stuck inside for so long, you're missing what's going on outside. You know, you're missing the beautiful weather. You know, next thing you know, we're going to all be stuck inside because it's snowing, you know. So it's, you know, try to enjoy those moments where you can kind of relax and take a moment for yourself. And for me, what's most therapeutic is just walking around or running. That helped my mind clear so that I can be successful for the next, you know, the next movement.
Yeah, I'm like that too. Sometimes, like, because you're right, because creating content, especially to these days, you know, especially social media, you have to be consistent. It's a consistent posting, putting up, and it's like sometimes, like, I know that the good thing is to post every single day, but there are days where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a break today because I would rather give you good content than some bullshit ass content just so you have it. You know, I'm about quality, and I really do believe it. And sometimes you step outside and something outside will inspire a thought, and that simple thought will create a ridiculously great content. So I agree with you 1000%. What do you think is the difference from Miami and New York? What made you come to the city?
Okay, so the huge difference would be, you know, New York is more fast paced. Everybody's on their phone working, where in Miami, it's like everyone's trying to have a good time and get a tan. You know, the culture and that the work ethic in that sense to me is a little slower in Miami. What drew me to New York was just the fast pacedness, and the fast pacedness is literally what my mind goes through every day. Like I'm always going hour, whether if it's with things I need to do, with ideas that I have in my head for content. It's always something that I have to do tomorrow. It's always going, going, going. And that's how I related to New York because, you know, I obviously tourist when I'm 18, stepped out in the middle of Times Square and there were thousands of people and it was so busy. And at the time it was so exhilarating. It was so like, oh my God, the city is so alive. Like I've never seen Miami like this. One, because we're all in cars anyway, but you know, it was just, it was one of those wow moments for me. And it really drew me to New York City was that moment. And, you know, I can't say the same now. I can't say I'll step out in Times Square and I would have that moment, because actually it's the complete opposite now. You know, you don't city itself. The city it's just, it's still, you know, the people, the culture, the food, you know. You think people are mean here when you first come here, but they're not really mean at all. People are really, really friendly here. And it's
just honest.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're honest.
This is honest. It's like, and go around in circles and try to just be polite every 2 seconds. And it's not even about being polite. It's just, I don't have the time to bullshit you. So I'm going to tell you the truth. Yeah, like we'll do that another day when we sitting by a view, by the mountain or something. But today, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to get to the point. Like, so I agree with you 1,000%. Yeah. But honestly, we're kind of getting to the end. I just wanted to know, for anybody who wants to become an event manager or create their build their own business, traveling business, or event planning, freelancing, where it's not corporate anymore, it's more personal, anything, or any artist or anyone out there in pursuit of something new and creating, is there any advice or any words of encouragement that you would like to share, especially for the Latinas out there who feel a little bit lost, and they're a little bit intimidated because they're like, oh my God, I don't know. Nah, man, Katrina is Hispanic as hell, okay? Latina all day, and she makes it happen. So any words of encouragement for anyone out there?
Yeah, just, believe in yourself, be motivation, follow people who are empowering, who are inspiring. I've looked a lot to social media, whether it was YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a great, professional network. Follow those people who really, really have words of wisdom, and you can wake up and have that positivity and that positive mindset because you're following people. So, you're waking up and you're looking at your social media, you see an empowering message from a girlfriend, instead of something like, oh, I'm so sad, da 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 da. Follow those positive thoughts and make sure your mindset is in that. Just do it. Like, don't, stop waiting for that perfect time. Basically, I would say that now, don't have those limiting beliefs of, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have this, hustle to get that money, and just do it.
Damn, that's it. Just do it. You're gonna fuck up. It happens. It's normal. Things will happen, but it's important to understand that it's always great to have something to look forward to, something to work on, a project. So that was it, boo. Oh my, so just do it. Just do it. Para el bochinche, just do it. That's it. Oh my God, Katrina, can I tell you how happy and grateful I am that you came on the show?
I'm so glad that you invited me.
I'm excited. I'm like, yo, Dingy Destinations. It has a ring to it. I can't wait for you to print some T-shirts. I would love to buy one because I can see it now. Dingy, I can see it. I love I'm telling you, that logo is dope. Thank you so much for being on the show. And on to the, of course, love. But give us your information, your social media handles, how they can contact you, your website. Give me everything.
Yes. Website is www.dingydestinations.com. My Instagram handle is dingy_destinations. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Sorry, I run so many accounts these days.
No, you're good. You're good. All right, cool. Well, that's it for today. This is our Artist of the Week. Shout out to Katrina. Her business, Dingy Destinations, on Instagram. She's posting a lot of content. And I know you have some other projects in the works, so I really can't wait to see that. And your hair looks fab. Love the hair. Yes, I love your hair. It looks really good. Mm-hmm. All right, boo, on to the next. And I'm going to end it.
We'll talk about that later, okay?
Yes, okay. Exactly. All right, y'all.
That's the end of this podcast today. Evie, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that was a great storytelling. Thank y'all for joining me today. I'm so happy that you guys spent your night with me, anytime with me. I hope this was a great nightcap. I hope you guys feel like you're not more knowledgeable about dating online and things like that and meeting people. I'm still doing the Layers to Linda questions, which my responses are super unfiltered and real and raw, and I would love to connect with you guys. So send me your questions to latenightwithlindarosa@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, We have the link in our bio in my Instagram, Late Night with Linda Rosa, and that will take you everywhere, whether it's Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere, you name it, I'm on it, including YouTube. The link is in our bio, and I will love your support. So thank you so much for your time, guys. Edie, thank you so much for being with me today. Always. I hope you guys have an amazing day and that tomorrow is even better. And I'll see you at sunset.